Yes, guys, welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. I'm back again. I'm back again with this time something different from what we've been doing for the past 24 hours. I'm back with Arsenal transfer news, and we're gonna be looking at a deal that is reportedly very, very close. Big up Peterson in the chat. You're the first person to comment on this video. He said, Kosi, me, I'm disappointed with the team. All of us are disappointed, bro, but there is nothing we can do. We just have to move forward. So don't let your feelings drop. Keep supporting Arsenal. Probably one day, we shall actually reach the top. So we're gonna be looking at some of the transfer news around Arsenal. A lot has been going on at the club. Since we have been taken over by the takeover, the Villarreal game. So we've not been looking at transfer reports, but now I'm back again with your best transfer news. I'll be trying to get the best transfer news around, try to make sure that you guys, I keep you updated. That is what you people like me for, and that's what I'll actually be giving you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you tell me what you think about Arsenal. Who do you want to sign? Who should Arsenal sign in the summer? Because that's all we can discuss now. Transfer signings as we complete the season. I think around 4 games left to go. 4 games, we complete the season, and it is all over. Now, I'm here to discuss reports that Arsenal are closing in on the signature of Guido Rodriguez. I don't know whether it's called Guido or Guido, but a Benfica midfielder in the names of Guido Rodriguez or Guido Rodriguez. The deal is very, very close. Both clubs, according to Mundo Deportivo, both clubs are about to reach. Reports coming in from Spain indicate that yes, Arsenal has reached out to Real Betis. They have also reached out to the player. They want to take him, and anytime now we could see a deal happen between the two clubs. Now, this is according to Mundo Deportivo, and they're saying that Arsenal are closing in on a deal on Guido Rodriguez. Arsenal are reportedly close to completing a deal for Real Betis midfielder Guido Rodriguez. The Gunners are in the transfer market for midfield reinforcements this summer, with Real Madrid loanee Dani Ceballos increasingly likely to return to his parent club at the end of the campaign. Arsenal manager Mikel is understood to have earmarked Rodriguez as his top target to replace Dani Ceballos. And Estudio Deportivo report that the two clubs are now close on reaching an agreement. So that is what we're going to discuss basically in this video. The Arsenal manager Mikel is understood to have earmarked Rodriguez as his top target to replace Dani Ceballos, and Estadio Deportivo reports that the two clubs are now close to reaching an agreement. The 27-year-old has a release clause of £69.5 million in his contract at Real Betis, but the Spaniard, but the Spanish outfits of financial difficulties mean they are likely to be forced to sell him at a reduced price. Arsenal could still splash around €50 million, which is around £43.3 million on the Argentinian midfielder, though earning Betis a significant profit, having only spent around £6 million on him last year. Rodriguez is a defensive midfielder and has featured 31 times for Real Betis in La Liga, scoring 1 goal and amassing 10 yellow cards. So that is the first story, guys. There goes the first story. Arsenal interested in highly rated Argentinian midfielder Rodrigo Guido, and the reports also claim that the two clubs, that is Real Betis and Arsenal, are very close to agreeing a deal for the player. This is where I'm asking people before we go any further: would you take him over Bissouma? Because that's the question. It is either Guido Rodriguez or Bissouma, and my focus in this video is going to be trying to understand what Guido Rodriguez offers Arsenal and what Bissouma would offer Arsenal. Try to compare the two players and see, do we take Bissouma or do we take Guido Rodriguez? Hit the like button, people. Subscribe to the channel as well. It really, really means a lot. So let's get into it. Let's try to get into it. First and foremost, Guido Rodriguez, 27 years of age. Spain, playing in Spain at Real Betis. Real Betis has, I think this is the third or fourth player from Real Betis to be linked with Arsenal. We're linked with Emerson, their right back, and we are now linked with their midfielder Guido Rodriguez. We are also linked with Mikel Oyarzabal, another midfielder from Real Betis. So it looks like we are linked with more and more midfielders and players from Real Betis, but that is not the focus. The focus is on Guido Rodriguez. If you've seen him play, if you've seen what he can offer, you can go on YouTube or try to watch a Real Betis game. I've tried to do both. I've seen Real Betis play because I was looking at players like Emerson. I was trying to track Emerson, but I've also looked at YouTube and I've tried to understand what Guido Rodriguez could actually provide Arsenal with. What can he offer the club in terms of the midfield? And basically what I've seen, according to my research, he is more of a player that plays. He's more of a player that plays like. He would be a good partner to Thomas Partey, but you have him like not N'Golo Kante really, because Kante travels a lot, and I don't think Guido Rodriguez travels a lot. He's another kind of mobile Granit Xhaka, because one of his strengths, and as we shall look at him, is the long balls. He really loves the long balls. He really loves throwing in the long balls. So one of his major attributes is the long balls. Just like you see Granit Xhaka. If you remember Granit Xhaka, when he had joined Arsenal, he just joined Arsenal. These days, I don't see that element in him anymore. But if you remember the Granit Xhaka that had just come to Arsenal, long balls were his thing. He always loved taking the long balls, shooting those long passes, looking out for runs from fullbacks or wingers or something like that. And that is one attribute of Guido Rodriguez. But I think the reason as to why Arteta and Edu are interested in this guy, it might not be the price, because if it were for the price, then you think they would have gone for a player like Kamavinga or Bissouma, because Bissouma is valued at around 35 million pounds, which I think is a little bit honest and okay for us, because our financial situation this summer is not going to be the best. We are not going to sign many players for big money. We don't have the money, and we've got to agree to that, despite the fact that the Cronkies have said they're gonna back us. They're gonna back us and give us money. So I don't see that happen at any point in time. I don't see Arsenal spend money or big amounts of money. So 43.3 million pounds for a midfielder is quite understandable. It's based on the fact that first and foremost we need a central midfielder. We need a partner next to Thomas Partey, and I think if you ask yourself, is he that perfect partner? Okay, can he provide the cover to Partey? I think, yeah, we saw it in the Villarreal game. Thomas Partey was playing in that midfield alone. We played a 4-1-4-1. Yeah, we played the 4-1-4-1 with Granit Xhaka out on injury. So literally that means if you have Xhaka injured, you don't have a player there. You don't have a player that can partner Thomas Partey. You think about Mohamed Elneny, not good enough. You think about Dani Ceballos, not good enough. So for the new season, if Arsenal decide to go for Guido Rodriguez, I will understand. We need a central midfielder as soon as possible, very fast in. And I think Guido Rodriguez is that player that can provide us with that cover. Try to move the ball forward and also provide cover for Thomas Partey when it goes in front. Maybe the likes of Guido Rodriguez, the likes of Bissouma are the kind of players that can help us maximize the best out of Thomas Partey, because we've seen this season Partey is absolutely stuck. Whenever he gets the ball, he doesn't have a person to give it to. Whenever he loses the ball, he doesn't have someone to back him. Whenever he wants to go forward, there is no player that can fall back in position. So in my simple understanding, you get a player like Guido Rodriguez, you solve the Thomas Partey problem. Because for me, Partey is an excellent talent, a top quality player. You just need a player besides him. You just need a player who partners him in the midfield. Is Guido Rodriguez the player? 100%. 100%. I think he is the man for the job. But the question for me is, why are we going for Guido Rodriguez? And I'll talk about the contract issues and everything. But why are we going for Guido Rodriguez for 43.3 million pounds and leaving a player like Yavis Bissouma, who is 35 million pounds. Because first and foremost, I think both players are great. Bissouma doesn't have, the eye for long balls and probably, that aggression going forward. We have to agree. Guido would be the better player in that regard. But Bissouma has been in the league. Bissouma is 35 million pounds. Bissouma would be a player that just fits into Arsenal, just fits into our playing style. Literally, because we don't have a playing style at the moment. So, it is easy for him to fit in and easy for him to fit in the league. I don't get it why we would go overseas to sign a more expensive player who is quality. I've seen him, he's quality. But Bissouma is also quality. Why don't we? Because Bissouma is a little bit younger. This guy is 27 years of age. Of course, which makes him, he's literally approaching the peak of his career. You would understand. But my question there is, why don't we go for a player like Bissouma? Reports had it last week that Arsenal were confident they will sign Bissouma. Or is it that Arsenal is going to sign Bissouma and Guido Rodriguez? I don't think that's going to happen, because literally both of them give you the same thing. Unless you're telling me Arsenal is going to get rid of Torreira, get rid of Ceballos, get rid of Xhaka and Mohamed El Neni. That one you would understand. But if Xhaka is going to stay, if players like El Neni are going to stay around, and with the coming back of Matteo Guendouzi, I don't see how how on earth we're going to sign two players, Bissouma and Guido Rodriguez. So my question for me there is, why don't we go for Bissouma, who is the cheaper deal, and he's rest assured the quality is there. If you want someone to partner Thomas Partey in that midfield, I think he is the man. He's absolutely the man. He's absolutely got the quality. So that is the big question. But there is also the element of Arsenal doing this deal a little bit early, because it looks like, according to Estadio Deportivo, the deal is around the corner. Both clubs could soon agree that the player joins Arsenal in the summer. Why is the deal done this early? I would understand, first and foremost. We have already confirmed that Ceballos is going to be leaving. Ceballos is going to be leaving the club, back to Real Madrid. That's the first thing. The second thing is Lucas Torreira doesn't want to play in Europe anymore. He wants to leave the club as well. So maybe that's the reason. That's the reason. We are doing this deal early. Anyway, any deal done early, for me, it's a good thing. I don't want to see deals done, at the end of the transfer window, at the end of the transfer summer. I wouldn't want to see those deals. I don't know whether my internet is fine. It looks like it's jumping. Looks like it's a little bit jumpy. So, guys, Guido Rodriguez, 27 years of age, Arsenal are reported to have to be very close to agreeing this deal. So, unless otherwise, we have to wait and see what actually comes out of this deal. We have to wait and see what actually comes out of this deal. My internet is a little bit not okay, so I'll have to cut off the stream.